Hey guys, today is September 22nd. It's an absolutely gorgeous day here. We did not have a very good summer, but we are surely having it in September and it's awesome. So while I was working out today, I suddenly realized that today is exactly 6 months until I turn 50, and I am kind of scared about turning 50, but it's also a privilege. There are many people who never get to turn 50, so I'm grateful for that. And I thought it would be a good time to do a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of house cleaning, maybe a little bit of a ramble. I'm going to be all over the map, but I wanted to talk about some personal goals that I have for myself for the next 6 months and beyond. And it's not a bucket list, it's more of self-actualization and just really self-reflection. So the first thing I'm going to start with is learning to be happy in my own company. I used to have a very busy, crazy house with 4 kids in it, and now I'm down to 1 teenager who really doesn't want to do anything with me, and that's okay, that's normal. But I have a lot more time on my hands, and I have a husband who is rarely home. He travels a lot, and I know I'm not unusual, but it means that I have to be happy alone. And of course I have friends, but everybody has their own thing going on. You can't always have friends around. So I spend a lot of time alone, and that gives me the opportunity to work on myself. So I have a history. I come from a family, well, my mom suffered with depression and anxiety, and so I want to really work on fighting that, and that's probably why I chose exercise as my vocation, because exercise is the #1 way to fend off depression and anxiety. And one of the things that I've been doing that's probably not been super helpful is drinking quite a bit of wine, and my goal is to cut back on my consumption of alcohol, because alcohol is a depressant, and you know, it's not nice to realize that you can polish off a whole bottle of wine on your own. I never thought I would be able to do that, but I've done that quite a few times over the last year, and then I wake up the next day with regret, whether I've done something stupid or eaten too much or chosen junk to eat. It's not a good thing, and as I said, it's a depressant. So what happens is it stays in your system, and it keeps you down. So I plan on, and I have started over the last couple of weeks, to limit my wine or alcohol to 5 or less drinks a week. That's the tipping point that the American Cancer Association has set. Beyond that, for women, you really increase your risk of cancer. So I thought that would be a good number. And the easiest way for me to do that is to not drink during the week and just to drink on the weekends. So that's my plan. And also, if I'm in fitness, really, you can't be drinking too much. Alcohol is a lot of empty calories, and it definitely lowers your self-control. So alcohol is metabolized before fat, so not a good thing. All right, we're moving on from alcohol. Cognitive stimulation, building pathways. So obviously I want to fight Alzheimer's. I want to be mentally and emotionally strong. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is I want to become fluent in French over the next year. I've moved here to Montreal, but every time je pratique mon français, tous les gens parlent à moi en anglais. That means that every time I try to practice my French here, everyone speaks back to me in English, but that's okay. I'll keep doing it. I'm doing Duolingo as well, and it's a lot of fun. So I've tried to make a commitment to do that every night, and I think it is helping. So I'll have more opportunities to practice. I did take French in high school, and I love the language. And having a second language builds extra pathways in your brain and lowers your risk of Alzheimer's, so they say. Anyway, what else? My physical goals. I've been suffering a little bit with lower back pain, and I know that I'm probably going through some sort of perimenopause. Not really sure where I'm at with that, but I've seen that a lot of women in my age group are suffering with joint pain. So my pain is in my lower back, and I've done some research and I know I need to work on my glutes and make them stronger. So I'm gonna train a little bit differently than I'm used to. I found a great guy, he's the glute guy, so I wanna give him a shout out. And he trains, he really targets the glutes specifically. Like normally when I train, I do complex movements. I'm doing squats and deadlifts, so we're working a lot of muscles at the same time. But this guy really trains, you know, really focuses on the glutes. He does a lot of glute bridges with open toes and a little bit different, higher reps than I'm normally used to doing. But I'm gonna be open-minded. I'm gonna try it. And strong glutes are sexy glutes, so who doesn't love that? All right, what else? Kindness and generosity and connectivity. So what I plan on doing with my earnings from YouTube, I've got a year of earnings and I haven't really touched them. And then for the next year is I would really like to find a family in need in Barbados. I'm from Barbados. And maybe even Dominica, if there's a Bajan out there who has a family in Dominica and they could use some help because they just got totally wiped out by Hurricane Maria, I would be very happy to send them my money. It's not a lot, but I think it will help. And I want to really focus on building authentic relationships with friends. You know, I use social media, Facebook, a lot to connect with people, but it's kind of superficial and fluffy. I would rather pick up the phone every once in a while and give someone a call. So some of you are going to be receiving calls from me, okay? I know that talking on the phone can be, my lips are getting dry, or my mouth is getting dry. That's why I keep doing that. Talking on the phone can sometimes take a little bit of planning, but I think it's really good to be able to hear somebody's voice once in a while. So I'm going to try to do that more often, and hopefully you'll have time for me. What else? Gratitude. So I am super grateful to be living here in Canada. It's an awesome country, and I'm also from Barbados, and I love the fact that when I go home, I'm going back to a wonderful place with loads of friends. And I mean, it's not like I'm going to Alaska, you know, it's usually amazing weather and beaches, and I have such a good time, and I really appreciate that I'm from such a special place. And I am looking forward to becoming a Canadian citizen next year. I have been married to a Canadian for 20-something years, but I've never lived here long enough, and this time I am going to get to be living here forever and becoming a Canadian citizen, getting that passport, and I'm so grateful for that. So I think that's pretty well it. I think I have everything covered. It'll be interesting to look back at this video maybe a couple years from now and see if I've accomplished these things that I've set out for myself to do. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and that you are tuning into my channel every now and then to work out. I will be putting some of those really cool different glute exercises up there, mixing that in with my regular workouts. And if you're new to Short Circuits, welcome. Please subscribe and take care of you. Be healthy, be happy, and get sweaty. So really super quickly, if anybody's interested, if you're thinking that maybe you're drinking too much, you don't have to be a raging alcoholic. This book is very helpful, super insightful. It's called The Naked Mind, and was recommended to me by my sister. So she and I are trying to do this alcohol reduction thing, and it's super helpful. So I'm only at about chapter 4, but I'm learning a lot, and I'm definitely seeing myself in here, and I'm sure you will too. Okay, that's all I have to say. And it's Friday, so I am allowed to have a glass of wine or two.